I truly believe that Kenshi 2 has the potential to break the mold and change how single-player RPGs are made. Now, if you've played Kenshi, you're probably wondering, that weird top-down RPG, and if you haven't, you're probably wondering, what the hell even is a Kenshi, and why should I care? You know what? That's a fair question. Kenshi is an open-world, squad-based RPG and survival sandbox that throws you into one of the most brutal worlds ever created. And when I say brutal, I am not kidding. You run into a singular group of goats, and they will slaughter you. There are no heroes in the world of Kenshi. They have all died a long time ago. There are no grand prophecies with your name on them, and the world ended long before you ever existed. In fact, it ended 2 times. The world is covered with slavers, starving bandits, dust bandits, and anyone just waiting to run your pockets. They're just waiting to run you down, beat the shit out of you, rob everything, take everything from you. And now, you may be sitting here wondering, so how the fuck could a game this brutal, this unforgiving, and this niche have the potential to change the gaming industry? Well, let me tell you. Because Kenshi does something that almost every modern AAA RPG is afraid to do. It makes you completely unimportant. Think of some of the biggest RPGs that have been made. You're a chosen one, you're the Dragonborn, you're humanity's last hope. The entire universe seems to revolve around you and your existence. Kenshi could give 2 fucks about all that. It does not matter who you are. It does not matter where you came from. The world does not care if you become the richest person on the continent or die of starvation 5 minutes after creating your character. And that is exactly why it feels so alive. The world exists with or without you. You're not stepping into a story that is written for you, you're stepping into a world that is already lived long before you've arrived. But if you're willing to put up with the brutality of Kenshi's world, and you are willing to survive in it, you get to write your own story. That's something I think we've slowly started losing in most modern day RPGs. Most games want you to feel powerful as quickly as possible. Kenshi wants you to earn absolutely everything. You are going to lose fights. You're going to get knocked unconscious. You might wake up in a fucking slave camp, and you could lose your arm. You'll probably spend hours barely surviving before you even feel like you can make a scratch on this world. But that's exactly what makes it great. It's like the equivalent of people saying long-term or delayed gratification is always better than those quick hits of dopamine, right? Being able to get your ass beat over and over, but slowly feeling yourself get stronger after every ass kicking until you get to the point where you can take on 1 guy. And then you build up your squad and you got 10 guys, and now you could take on every squad that came after you before. And then you build up a squad to 25 guys, 30 guys, hire mercenaries, and now you're taking over camps. Not very many games can replicate that kind of feeling as much as Kenshi. And that's exactly why, when you finally become powerful in Kenshi, it makes you feel incredible. Kenshi understands something that a lot of games have forgotten. Failure makes success meaningful. It also trusts the player in a way that almost feels unheard of today. There are no giant quest markers pulling you across the map. There's no glowing paths telling you exactly where to go, and there's no constant reminders that you're doing the right thing. In fact, Kenshi barely even gives you any direction at all. It gives you some rags, a stick, a big fuck you, and you're on your way. It's a game that trusts that you're smart enough to figure things out on your own. It trusts that getting lost is part of the adventure. It trusts that discovering something naturally is much more rewarding than being led straight to that point. The level of freedom is becoming increasingly rare in AAA games. And that's exactly why I think Kenshi has built such a passionate community despite looking rough around the edges. People do not remember Kenshi for having the best graphics, smoothest combat. They remember it for being different every single time they play it. Nobody remembers how they started. They remember how they escaped slavery. They remember the time they lost one of their legs trying to defend a friend. They remember the time they accidentally built a settlement in the wrong place and had another faction coming after them over and over again, brutally beating them until they had to run away. None of these moments were scripted. The game created these opportunities for those stories to happen. And that's why I believe Kenshi 2 matters so much. The original Kenshi had an incredible idea, but it was held back by its age, its presentation, and just how it was hard for new players to get into. Kenshi 2 has the chance to take those same ideas and present them in a way that reaches millions more people. And if it succeeds, I think developers across the industry are going to pay attention to this. Not because it'll necessarily become the biggest game ever made, but because it'll prove that players are still hungry for worlds that don't revolve around them. Worlds that trust that they can figure things out on their own, and worlds where failure isn't punishment, it is part of their story. I do not think Kenshi 2 has the potential to become the biggest RPG ever made, but I genuinely do think it actually has potential to become one of the most important RPGs. I think it has this potential because it's trying to remind us of what RPGs were supposed to be. They were never supposed to be stories that the developers were trying to tell us. They were always supposed to be the stories that we created ourselves. And that is exactly why I think Kenshi 2 has the potential to be one of the most important RPGs ever made. If you guys did enjoy this video and make it all the way to the end, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for me. Appreciate y'all, and see you later.